All right, good afternoon, everybody. Today we are going to talk about an app called Text Expander Touch. Here it is right here. This is it's basically like an abbreviation expansion app for your iPad or your iPhone. That's going to allow you to set a bunch of abbreviations, and then when you start to use them, it's going to increase your typing speed when you use this app. So I'm going to go ahead and open the app up. We'll take a look at this. We'll open it up. Here's the home page you get for Text Expander Touch. I believe this retails for $4.99 in the App Store. There is also a Mac component of this that you can get. But what we have here is we can create or edit notes. And these are really the two big things you get here: create or edit notes, and create and edit snippet groups. So let's go into the snippet groups first. What the snippet groups are these are your these are going to be your abbreviations. Abbreviations are created and actually made. So right now, the one thing that I have here is sample snippets. If I wanted to divide these up just to make it easier to organize them, I can go down here to the little plus sign. I can tap this and I can add a different category here if I want to have a different group of my abbreviations. I'm not going to do that right now because I have some in this abbreviation. I'm just going to tap on sample snippets. And what you should see come up here in just a second is the examples that have been created here. So there's several examples within the sample snippets. You know, TYVM is thank you. That expands out to thank you very much. Then this guy's got cheers, SIG2, yours sincerely. TTEL puts in a telephone number. AADR puts in an address. What's cool about this is DDate. If you plug that in, that's programmed to actually put today's actual date into whatever you happen to be working with. And then you can see here he's also plugged in as samples some messages. SMS1, it gives a whole message: I'm running late, be back soon. SMS2, traffic jam, you know, that kind of thing. I've plugged in here my initials, so JRS will expand out to James R. And an address within Linquist Center is N186. Now I'm going to add another one here. I'm going to add one for iCater. So I'm going to tap the Add key, and you're going to see the abbreviation option pop up there. Now I'm not going to want to call this abbreviation iCater because I'm going to use iCater in some of my writings, and I don't necessarily always want that to expand out to, you know, the Iowa Center for Assistive Technology Education and Research. So I'm going to call this iCater 1. And then I will go into content and I will write out what I want this to be. So we'll call this Iowa Center for Assistive Technology. You can see why I might want this to be abbreviated: Technology, Education, and Research. Okay, so I've got this all set now. I've plugged in iCater 1 as my abbreviation, the content, Iowa Center for Assistive Technology, Education, and Research. I'm going to hit Done. And when I hit Done, you are going to see iCater added to the iCater 1 added to the bottom of my list. Okay, so this is where we add our snippets in. Now, once we want to use this for writing, we go up to this little like balloon-looking thing here with a TE in it. Tap on that and hit Notes. When we tap Notes, that's going to take us to our notes list. So I've got a note that I've been working on here. We'll just delete what it says in there. So I'm going to just show you kind of how this works now. So if I start typing, you know, my name is, and then I'm going to plug in my abbreviation for my name, and it's going to replace that. And then we'll plug in, let's say I work at the, and then we'll put in iCater 1. And see, it didn't change, so it's got to be, it's cat sensitive, I believe. So let's go ahead and make sure we put this in the proper way. iCater 1. And you can see there it expands out to the Iowa Center for Assistive Technology Education and Research. And I don't know why that R is there at the end, but maybe we'll hit enter and that'll get rid of it. Okay, so that's basically what this is. You create these abbreviations. You can actually use them when you're going in and writing them. Now, something you have to think about with this, though, there's two things you got to think about. One, you don't want to go too crazy with these. You don't want to have too many so that you don't remember them, because you know there's going to be a cognitive load on the user when they're doing this, because there's going to be several abbreviation options to remember. You don't want to use real words. There's going to be times when you're going to want to write that word, and it's not going to. It's going to expand out, and you're going to be out of luck. So you don't want to use real words. You want to use something else that you're not going to typically type. And I mentioned before, D-date is one of the things that's built in. If I plug that in, check out what happens. I write D-date, and it expands out to today's date on there. It's automatically set to go ahead and do that. So this is great for things that you write a lot, long things that you'd want to have to write out, something that you need to get to fairly quickly. Now, we can also, so there's a couple things we can do once we've got this. We've got our writing down. We can copy all this and paste it into another app. There are several apps that this work with. I looked through the list, and it's not anything that's real common. It's not anything like Pages or Twitter or Facebook that you can embed this directly into. So I'm not going to go too far into the apps that this tool works with. But if we wanted to, say, email this, what we just did, we can either copy this and paste it into an email, or we can go up here and we can hit the arrow coming out of the box. When we do that, our option is, send email, copy all, or send message. So we can send this as an email or a text. So if I hit send email, it's going to take this and it's going to allow me to just plug in my to and my subject, and then I can send it directly from my iPad. Same would happen if I went to message. It would send directly from my message as well. Now, the other thing that we can do, let's say, I'm going to go into my email. This might be dangerous because I don't know what's in here, but we'll open up an email. Let's say I wanted to, respond to this email. I can hit reply, and then I can go into my text expander, write all this out, and when I go to hit email from here, it should have plugged that right into the reply, and it didn't, and I'm not sure why that happened. But at the very least, you can always go and copy all of this and paste it back into the reply that you want to send. This pencil with the eraser pointing down, that's going to erase notes for you. Pretty easy to do that. Then the other thing that we're going to take a look at here is the little gear, the options that you have within this. Options that you have, you can turn on or off ignore case. So had I turned on ignore case and did iCater in lowercase, it still would have expanded out. So if I turn that off and I do iCater 1, you can see there it expands out. You can expand it immediately or not. If we turn that off, I believe what we have to do then, so if I say iCater 1 again, I think if we then tap it and hit format, nope, never mind. I thought you would tap it and it would expand out, but apparently that's not the case. If you don't want it to expand, you turn that off, and once you turn it back on, you're back to expanding. So if you're using real words and you want to type that word, you can shut off, expand immediately. There is a sound button. You can turn the sound off. You can turn it on, auto capitalize and auto correct. And then you can share things over Dropbox and whatnot as well. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward app. It's a very nice tool for saving you typing lots of different things. It would be nice if it integrated smoothly into things that were commonly used.